everyone, and welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. We are so glad that you joined us today because we are talking mysteries. And if you love mysteries, this is the episode for you. We are recapping the 2021 Hallmark Movies and Mysteries series and mystery movies that premiered last year. So I'm so glad you're here. I'm Kari, I'm your host, and I have Kaycee with me today.
Hello, friends. I have my Hallmark movie kind of day sweatshirt on, and it is a Hallmark movie kind of mystery type of day.
Yes, it is. And Kami is here too.
Hello, I have my woman of mystery aura about me.
Absolutely. It's just, you're so mysterious. So mysterious. Well, I have to be honest, when Rachel and Caroline and I did the Hallmark movie, like the best of podcast, non-Christmas, we included all of the mysteries in our list, like if they made our top 10 list or not. But that was really hard for me because it's hard for me to put them all together, like mash them up, like mysteries and the romances on the Hallmark Channel.
And the dramas.
And the dramas and the like the TV series maybe or something. But so this is kind of exciting today because there were like 15 mysteries that premiered, not including Santa's Stakeout, which was a countdown to Christmas movie, which we actually are going to include in our list. Maybe.
It's technically a mystery.
Yes.
It was technically a mystery. So there are some that we are including, some that we're not. We're not including the dramas that debuted on the Mystery Channel. We're really just talking about the mysteries.
Like Summer, Benedict Stone, those ones. We're not including those.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are only doing the mysteries in which a body is found dead, deceased, murdered, etc. So we are not including Signed, Sealed, Delivered because, to be honest with you, Kami and I are biased. If you want to hear our thoughts about Signed, Sealed, Delivered, the vows we have made, you can go check that out at Deliver Me a Podcast.
Good.
Because I personally have always felt that SSD is not really a mystery. It's more of a drama.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, but neither here nor there.
It's mine too. So
great. Good.
You have five.
Yes.
High five, we have backup.
High five. So go to, if you want to hear about that, go to Deliver Me a Podcast. You have all of that on Deliver Me a Podcast. So
yes. And side note, it's obviously number one out of all of 2021. So
hello.
It's a beautiful, beautiful movie, but we are talking murder today. We are talking murder.
Well, we should probably say crime because Santa's Stakeout didn't have a body.
So... Okay. So crime. Yeah.
Crime. Yes. There's no crime involved in SSD. So
no.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know about you guys, but after Countdown to Christmas happens, which starts like in October, like before Halloween, I am ready for mysteries again. I've said it before in the podcast, but I'm ready for a little murder.
Kari's done with the feel good. Get the bodies out.
I miss it.
I want to see a corpse.
I mean, to be honest with you, and you guys are probably going to revoke my Hallmarkies podcast like privileges, but I'm here for the mysteries too. Like, honestly, everything else, I'm like, it's fine. I only watched Love and Christmas movies this year, and I'm not ashamed.
You know what? Some years are going to be like that. Some years you're going to have to pick and choose what you watch. But I know you definitely all year round, you love these mysteries.
Yes, I love the mysteries.
Well, that's good. That leads me into my question I wanted to ask you guys. When you're looking at Hallmark mysteries, what's important to you? What draws you into a movie or a series? What do you like?
Am I going to get laughed at if I give this answer?
No, because it's my answer too. I bet you anything.
Chemistry between leads.
Chemistry is good.
If the leads aren't driving the movie romance wise, plot wise, whatever, if there is not a screen chemistry between the two, I'm lost.
Yeah. I get so annoyed when it's like, I know they're supposed to like each other, but I want to know why. And I want to actually see that they do like each other. Because there's a specific pairing that I'm thinking of. Maybe I'll mention it because I think it might be done. But that I don't think they have any chemistry at all. I don't know. I'm going to jump into the deep end with this one. Well, okay, for me, it was Matchmaker Mysteries with Victor and Danica. I didn't believe it. I didn't see it. I'm thinking Matchmaker is done because she's exclusive with GAC now.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was.
I didn't really dig the two of them together either.
No.
It just, I don't know. It just was off. It was off to me. I like them separately. But
you know what? I like them separately a lot, but it doesn't even have to be romantic chemistry for me because
it just has to be screen chemistry.
Take someone like Aurora Teagarden and Sally. Sally's been in it from the beginning, and Aurora has had like 4 boyfriends, and now a husband. So it's not necessarily even romantic chemistry, but they play off each other platonically so well that I love that screen chemistry that they have, friendship-wise.
We'd like to take a second from this episode of the podcast to celebrate our sponsor of this episode, and that is the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast?
Do you want an inside scoop into what happens on the podcast?
Do you want early access to episodes and loads of cool perks?
Now is the time to become a patron of Hallmarkies podcast.
By becoming a patron, you get to access our patron Facebook group.
You can request episodes or even be a guest on the podcast.
And most importantly, any patron can join our monthly movie watch-alongs with stars like Paul Campbell, Natalie Hall, and more.
It's as low as $2 a month to join in and become a special part of the Hallmarkies family.
Please consider, and we will love you forever.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies. Yes. So let's jump in. We have a top 5 from each of us. A couple honorable mentions, I think, don't we? We each have.
Yeah.
It's hard to get to that 5. So 6 and 7, you kind of want to mention too. Before we go in and do the rounds of doing our top 5, I'm going to read off from the year, month by month, which movies came out, just for our listeners, just for our viewers to remember what our, what we were choosing from, basically. Okay. So January, we had the premiere of Martha's Vineyard Mysteries, Ships in the Night, and Chronicle Mysteries, Helped to Death. Then February, Crossword Mysteries, Terminal Descent. March brought us Mystery 101, Killer Timing. April was Crossword Mysteries, Riddle Me Dead, and Matchmaker Mysteries, Art of the Kill. May was a busy month with Aurora Teagarden's How to Con-a-Con, Martha's Vineyard Mysteries, Poisoned in Paradise, and Morning Show Mysteries, Murder Ever After. June brought us Aurora Teagarden, Till Death Do Us Part, of course, with the June Bride. And
of course.
Also To Catch a Spy.
That one premiered on my anniversary.
Oh, that's so fun. And then August brought us Mystery 101, A Deadly History, Hannah Swenson Mysteries, Sweet Revenge, Aurora Teagarden, Honeymoon, Honey Murder. And September, Redemption at Cherry Springs. And then, to our surprise, December's countdown to Christmas included the Santa Stakeout. Those are the mysteries we are working from, and that is what we drew our top 5 from. So, drum roll, please. Are you guys ready?
Well, I guess we have to be.
Do you want to say something else before we get started?
Nope. These are just some of these were really hard choices. I had to write out a list and everything. And
I know. Did you have criteria, things that you know, like were
what it came down to is I crossed off all of the obvious ones that I'm like, no. And then I started circling the ones that I liked.
Okay.
And then it kind of came down to, okay, if all of these were on, which one would I pick?
Okay.
And so, yeah, that kind of thing.
Kaycee, what about you?
I just picked the ones I like the best.
I liked it. Check.
Simple checklist there.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of considered, what was memorable. Obviously, after when you look back on the whole year, which ones did I remember? Which ones stuck with me?
Yeah.
And then because that was kind of important to me. And chemistry, obviously, I like that you brought that up, and storyline. So yeah, just a couple of those things. I mean, yeah, this was fun. Okay, my honorable mention. Let's go with those first.
Okay.
I'm just going to put one. My one honorable mention is it's an Aurora Teagarden. So she had 3 movies this year, and I thought they were great. I thought they were really fun. They moved her personal story along. But as far as the mystery that intrigued me the most, I think, was the wedding one, Till Death Do Us Part. And because it brought in her dad, and it brought in this family history, and it brought in this this friend group, and they were all trying to keep a secret, and it was really intriguing to me, and that kind of stuck with me a little bit. It asked different things of each character, and I don't know, I liked that one. So that's my honorable mention, was Aurora Teagarden.
Okay.
All right, Kami, what are your honorable mentions?
My honorable mentions are Aurora Teagarden, How to Con a Con.
Okay.
And Redemption in Cherry Springs. Those are my honorable mentions.
All right. For any reason that they got
cut? I mean, How to Con a Con was just fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun. And I just it was so delightful. It just was. That's all I can say about it, despite the fact that there was a murder.
But they all had to, like, they themselves they had to get into the con of it all, so they were trying
and just watching Sally be so nervous. I can't lie. And Redemption in Cherry Springs was just, it kind of had a recycled storyline, but the storyline worked, and there was a reason for her to be there because her friend was involved and she was a reporter. So it wasn't like she was getting too in over her head. And then of course he had a daughter, and she was precious. So and the two of them worked. The two of them really worked. So yeah, a little bit of a recycled storyline, but I wouldn't mind if they did more.
Right. Kind of tried to make that a series. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe they left it open-ended like that. I think
they did.
Where we could jump into a number 2 type of movie. Kaycee, what about you and your honorable mentions?
My honorable mentions are Hannah Swenson and Aurora Teagarden.
Which one?
Till Death Do Us Part.
Wow.
Yes. So I mean, we all know I love Candace. I love Aurora Teagarden, and it would be unfair if I stacked the deck with all of Aurora. So I thought to myself, okay, if I'm lumping Aurora together, and I did the same with any of the duplicate ones, I'm lumping them together, which one do I like the best?
Yes.
So I mean, I did have some, reasoning for my top 5.
Okay.
And I would say, like, I loved Con a Con, but Till Death Do Us Part had the wedding.
Yes.
The thing we've been all waiting for forever.
Yes.
We see Aurora getting her happily ever after, and like that was great. And we also met her father, just like you said. So there were a lot of really great elements to it. And I thought for it being a wedding movie, they did the wedding really well. with the murder.
Yeah.
I thought they balanced it really well, because I was kind of like, how are they gonna do this? And then with Hannah Swenson, it's my honorable mention because I'd not really seen a whole lot. Like, I've seen, I think, 3 out of the 5.
Okay.
So I wasn't as invested, but this one really, like, this one brought it to the table. This one made me go, okay, I need to go back and actually watch them all.
Right.
Of course, I like, we love the chemistry between Allison Sweeney, Cameron Matheson.
Yes.
There are a lot of fun elements to it too. So those are my honorable mentions.
Good. Great. Okay. So we got those out of the way. We acknowledged that we liked those and they were close to the top 5. But let's go down, starting with your number 5, and we'll work our way to number 1, as we do on the podcast here with these best of. My number 5 was Santa Stakeout. Santa Stakeout was my number 5 because it was such a surprise. You almost think that this countdown to Christmas mystery movie would be really like chintzy on the mystery part, but it wasn't. It had
Nope, it wasn't.
Fun. Yeah, it was so fun that way. Plus the 2 detectives solving the case, but also falling in love was different. We usually don't have 2 detectives actually on the case with our Hallmark.
I know, imagine that.
So that was kind of fun, and I'd love to see more of them. It would be too much fun if they made this into a series, but yeah, I love the funny banter, the sweet romance, and that is my number 5. So Kami, number 5, what do you have?
I'd like to say ditto. Santa Stakeout was my number 5, and for all the same reasons. So I have nothing to add.
Oh, no kidding.
No, I'm serious.
Well, it was a really fun surprise, and it was a good mystery, and it fit into Countdown to Christmas. It transitioned us into the season really well, I think. So anyway, I obviously had more things to add, and I shouldn't have. It's your turn. What else?
I loved how they did everything, and they had the bumbling cop, and they had him be they had Paul Campbell be a Scrooge, but not really a Scrooge. And, but you have all of the seasonal delights, like the matching sweaters, and I just got a kick out of them playing a married couple. I thought that was so precious. So everything just worked. And then, it was such a surprise. And even though it was funny and it was a rom-com, it was still a very serious matter. We're talking about jewel thieves here. So
that, and a Christmas mystery. Like, we want Christmas mysteries.
Christmas mysteries are fun.
They're fun. And they're few and far between. We have Murder She Baked Plum Pudding Mystery is a bona fide Christmas murder.
Yeah.
Now we have Santa Stakeout with the jewel thieves. I mean, it's too much fun, and I think that they should make more Christmas mysteries.
I agree. I totally agree. They should.
Yeah. Well, great. Kaycee, what about you? What do you have for number 5?
My number 5 is Crossword Mysteries Terminal Descent.
Yes.
That is my number 5. It's my number 5 because I really enjoyed the movie. And that's the one where I figured out that Matthew James Dowden's character was the one. I just couldn't figure out how he was it.
Okay.
I couldn't piece anything together. So I really enjoyed I just really enjoyed seeing like the cinematography of it. I liked how they did the storytelling of it, where you saw it's almost like these weird flashbacks, but not really. It's like the time sequencing was really interestingly done. So I really enjoyed that movie. So that's my number 5.
Oh, that's great. Okay, good. I know I'm writing these down as you guys say, because I like to remember what you guys said too. Okay, so number 5 is taken care of. Now we move on to number 4. Number 4, my choice is Martha's Vineyard Mysteries: Poisoned in Paradise. Now, I think Martha's Vineyard has really hit its stride. It is, we know these characters. We're starting to really care about these characters. Their mysteries are really good. Ships in the Night was a great mystery, with the art and, you know, the drugs or whatever in the art. And that was really fun. But Poisoned in Paradise, not only was it a good mystery with a lot of red herrings and suspects to consider, you know, they weaved in a couple different storylines too. And they gave us Jeff Jackson's background, like mysterious background, what happened to him in Boston on the police force. We're kind of getting more traction with that. We have his love interest with Sarah Lind. And I just thought it was a fantastic viewing experience on a lot of levels. So that one was a really fun for me, Poisoned in Paradise, and memorable. So number 4.
My turn.
Uh-huh.
My number 4 was To Catch a Spy.
Wonderful.
I loved To Catch a Spy. There was just enough of a romantic spark that you could see it going somewhere.
Yes.
If they chose to keep it going, but they didn't push anything. So if it stays as a standalone movie, that's okay too.
Yeah.
And then having it be in Milan and all of that. Oh, it was beautiful. And it also was very serious. The stakes were actually high. It wasn't a fluffy mystery. And the other thing, okay, this is going to sound maybe a little strange, but I liked that she was actually scared.
Yeah.
You know, we get all of these
yeah.
mystery heroines going, oh, no, I'm fine. You almost got shot. No, I'm fine. He just clobbered you and knocked you unconscious. No, I'm fine. Will you stop it?
she actually was super scared.
She was scared.
Which was cool because her concern for the people involved in the mystery really outweighed, like, it made her brave, you know. So it was really real. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very real. And plus it was 2 brand new faces to Hallmark, which can be hit or miss. And this one was a hit.
Yeah.
They worked, I thought.
Yeah, I think it was a hit. Now, Colin Donnell, I think is the guy's name. I think he's done one other thing for Hallmark. If I remember right.
Okay.
This might not have been his first. It might have been
relatively new.
Relatively new. Well, I looked him up because I thought he was a total breakout star in Hallmark, you know, for this year, 2020. And I think he had done something else, but it might not have been on movies and mysteries. But that's just little stuff I care about. Sorry about that, everybody, if that's boring. But I like to see what else he's been on.
He did Love on Iceland.
Love in Iceland. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
It was a Winterfest movie from 2021 or 2020. 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a fun one too. But he was great in this one. Thanks, Kami. Good one. Kaycee, what about you? Number 4.
My number 4 is The Santa Stakeout. Woo!
Well, we got that one out of the way.
I mean, all the same reasons you guys had mentioned. I did like that there was no murder involved, but again, it was still a compelling mystery.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry was great between Paul Campbell and Tamara Mowry Housley.
Mm-hmm.
And this one just reminded me of, like, I don't know, adult Disney, like, you know, like DCOM. And I don't know if it's like the whole like sister thing that I was like vibing with. I don't know if I was like in a really like reminiscent kind of mood, but I just remember watching it and thinking, like, I feel like this is something I could, like, I don't know, it just reminded me of like DCOM from like the 90s. It was really fun. It was super fun, but for adults.
Yeah,
but still rated G.
Well, it goes with that flow of all of us seeing these stars we grew up with on, you know, Nickelodeon or on Disney Channel or something, and now they're the stars of our movies, and it's just so fun to celebrate them.
It is.
I love it. So good. Okay, so my number 3, moving on to number 3 is a morning show mysteries, Murder Ever After. I need to tell you,
You like the revival.
I loved it. I loved the revival. Because you kind of go in with this feeling like, oh, okay, there's this new guy, and what's it going to do to the story and do to the characters? It was awesome. And I thought he was, like we've said before, it was fresh, but not only that, the story I thought was super intriguing. They're all these neighbors, this friend group, they're all remembering this one incident one summer a year ago, or I'm sorry, 20 some years ago. And you catch different characters and their perspective, and then you see the same scene from another character's perspective, and the detective is trying to piece it together. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a fantastic mystery storyline that I too was like, okay, I think I know, but we have to see that person's perspective, and you're just kind of waiting for it. So that is my number 3 morning show. Talk about a heroine, though, who was not scared of anything. It's Billy Blessings. And that is so weird to me. She confronts the murderer, who has a knife cutting fruit or something. And you're like,
it was a muffin.
Like, get out of the kitchen. Right out. She has
Turn around and leave.
Go tell the new detective, like, get out of there. So that just cracked me up. That was not realistic, but still number 3. Kami?
Okay. I broke the rules, Kari. I have a tie for number 3, but I have a very good reason. My tie for number 3 was Mystery 101, Killer Timing, and Mystery 101, Deadly History.
Okay.
So
okay.
They're in the same wheel. So,
yes.
So the reason why they're tied is there was one aspect of each movie that pulled me back from loving them.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Completely throwing myself at them and saying, yes, I love this one. So in Killer Timing, they have their first kiss. They have that absolutely adorable flirting with each other. And when she sees him in the hospital, when Amy sees Travis in the hospital for the first time, just that hug, and him saying, I'm all right. Like, and I loved Erin Cahill as his ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I thought she was just a fantastic addition. The problem that I had was what I was talking about before. Here's my example. The stakes were too low. I thought, when you have all of this buildup of the Wolfman, and then everything is just a complete coincidence, and the murderer is trying to kill Amy so that his girlfriend will get the job and stay there. I'm just like,
I mean,
all right.
When you put it that way, okay.
You're so right.
I was like, I was invested, but whatever.
but see, don't mistake me, because the rest of the movie I was crazy about, and I am crazy about Christopher Polaha and Jill Wagner together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They are dynamite. But that one thing, I was like, oh. And then with the rest of the world, I loved Deadly History. I loved that he said, I love you. That moment could not have been more perfect. And then I was angry with the rest of the world. I just wasn't as vocal about it. I was like, no, don't end it like that. No.
Okay. But okay. I'm going to save my rebuttal for later.
No, I mean, I know
the rest of the world except for Kaycee.
I know there's a good reason for it. That's why I didn't have this huge angry reaction, because I know that it's going to play into the next one whenever it does come out. But it just, I didn't think that was the place for it. 30 seconds. I know it's 11 months later, but seconds after he says, I love you for the first time. Come on.
Okay, me too. I'm gonna talk about this.
Like I said, I realized why, and I thought that it was definitely a great cliffhanger to get us to come back. It kind of broke the moment, shall I say. It broke the moment.
Well, it takes you to the highest high and then drops you to this low. And I got that old school reaction, like when you're a kid and your sitcom says to be continued.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I have to wait a whole week. What? Like that's the feeling that I got. It was super nostalgic. And I was like, no. And you're yelling at your TV. And I'm like, this was a good movie. Okay.
It definitely got our attention, and it's gonna get us to come back. It just broke the moment. That's all. So,
I mean, I will say you are more of a romantic than I am. So like, I think that
me? What?
What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
This is brand new information.
Totally new information.
But I think that plays part of like our enjoyment for the mysteries, or what we didn't like about the mysteries. Because like for you were invested in the romance. For me, I was invested in the mystery, and I love the shocking
invested
ending.
in the mystery too.
No, well, you can invested in both, but like if you're comparing me and you,
I'm teasing you. But so each one there was one aspect from me to keep me from completely loving both of them. So they got tied for 3.
But as 2 movies in the canon of Mystery 101, they were great movies.
Fantastic. So absolutely incredible. Yeah.
All right, number 3, we'll allow it a tie, from at least because it's the same series. That's
Thank
why
you, my
I
liege.
will allow it. Kaycee, what about you? What is your number 3?
Your grace is most gracious.
My number 3 is Martha's Vineyard, Ships in the Night.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Before this series, I was kind of like Jesse Metcalfe, okay, whatever. But now he's in the series, I'm like, oh, Jesse Metcalfe, okay, you and Sarah Lynch, we got this chemistry going on. And Sarah Lynn's character Z is such a different lead.
Yeah.
She is different.
She's so confident. She has a purpose for her involvement in these murders, because she works in the medical field, and so she does the forensics and all of that. And then with this one, this one had multiple deaths.
Oh, it did. You're right.
And this one, I was like, at first I was like, oh, it's probably like the old lady or something. Not really thinking it was gonna be what's her name? It's Camille Mitchell. She played Lila.
Yes.
And I was like, it was kind of tongue in cheek, and I was kind of trying to figure it out, and then I was like, no, it can't be her. She's too nice. It's probably the other guy. And of course the other guy was involved because he was cleaning up after her. But like when she flipped the whole story flipped when she revealed herself as the mastermind murderer, and I was like, wait, what? But look at her. She's like a golden girl. Like,
that was very good. You're right.
It was very good. I was very invested. This series is probably it's up there for me. Yeah. Out of all the series that I've seen, it's definitely up there. I think it surprised me the most. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much, but I really, really, really love Martha's Vineyard Mysteries. It's just written really well. There's a lot of tangled web. There's a lot of great chemistry. Also with Z and Britt, I really love their friendship. And so
and Jesse Metcalfe, honestly, this is a great role for him. He does Jeff Jackson so well.
It's gritty.
Yes.
It's gritty. It's got some baggage. It's really, it's a good one for him.
It is. And I think that's something that he wants.
Yeah.
I think he wants those characters. I mean, from when we've talked to like Fief Sutton and Mark Jordan Legan and stuff, like Jesse Metcalfe wants those more complicated characters, and you get that with Jeff Jackson.
Mhm.
I'm still waiting for his whole background to reveal itself.
Yeah.
Because my prediction is that his buddy over there is a two-timer. So
Yep. I totally
Ooh.
agree. I know we've
Mhm.
talked about this before. I love that theory because he seems like a good guy, but he doesn't. He's really hurting Jeff rather than helping him, and that kind of was revealed in this last offering,
Mhm.
right? Poisoned and
yeah,
Pardoned.
and poisoned, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
Ooh, good. Thanks
Yeah.
for reminding me about some of those elements in Ships in the Night, because I forgot, like, it was like, but there's already been a murder, and then there's two more, and then there was
Yeah, weren't there like 3 deaths in this one?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah. And usually the cap is usually 2. You're expecting the second one, and then there's a third one. You're like, whoa.
right.
I think we've reached our limit for the movie.
Yes. All right, so number 2, my so personal favorite for number 2 is Mystery 101: A Deadly History. So very close to yours, Kami, but I too, now I don't expect my Hallmark mysteries to leave me in a good mood like my Hallmark Channel. They do, but it is just, it is
You don't expect it.
So I was actually thrilled with this ending. As much as I hated it for them, I was thrilled. I was like, yeah, it almost felt like a movie, like this big cinematic moment, where it just kind of crashes you down. But before that, the 59 minutes or whatever before that, or however long a movie is, gosh, I don't even remember. Way longer than 59.
90.
Thank you.
Yeah, try more like 90.
90. This was a fun, maybe not fun. This was a good story. They go off location. They go in search of her uncle. Amy is involved with some sort of this ransom thing with the boat, and she has to kind of put herself out there and win back. They there's this whole thing with this domestic violence. This father who is threatening this mom and daughter, and no one feels safe, and you just have to put the pieces together. Now the stakes I don't think were super high, if I remember right. This was a mystery, like people were just trying to go and get safe, and so they were trying to kind of distract or something.
Well, and Uncle Alistair disappeared, and that's kind of a big deal.
Well, it's a big deal, but he did it himself. Like he left. He wasn't taken. He wasn't, kidnapped or anything.
Like we thought he was.
Like you thought he was. So he's kind of like just trying to get safe too. So I still was very intrigued this whole time. There was red herrings enough for me. Amy, I thought she was so great in this role. And anyway, but in this specific movie, she's a little more involved, and they're doing it together a little bit more. And he's helping out because he loves their family. Cliffhanger, I was all for this cliffhanger. It still makes my heart pound when I think about what happened 11 months later. And he says this victim of a car crash or a murder or something, right? Was it a murder?
It's a murder.
And Amy's there and she's crying, and he comes out and he looks really unkempt, and he's like, "That's Amy's fiance." You're like, what?
30 seconds ago.
So anyway, I love Kaycee's theories on this. I hope that she's going to share them. But Mystery 101: Deadly History is my number 2. What about you, Kami?
My number 2 is Aurora Teagarden Mysteries Till Death Do Us Part.
Yes.
We've been following that story for a long, long time. And it's just about dang time. But like Kaycee said, I really loved how they put the wedding with the mystery. It all really fit and flowed together. And I was a sucker for when they were in the police station standing back to back. I love that part. Do not look at each other, or I will tell on you to your mother. So they are standing back to back, talking to each other and talking to people around them, looking totally ridiculous. So they won't see each other on their wedding day. It's just precious. It's and you also, I didn't know who the murderer was. I really thought that they were going to make it her dad. I'm like, oh my gosh, are they gonna do that?
Yeah.
And then everything does get tied up really nicely. And then of course you have the wedding archway made of library books, which was
I
just
know,
cute.
I love that.
That was
It was just cute. And I think it didn't make my top 5, but the fact that we knew we were going to get another movie of them on their honeymoon and that they specifically did not end it with the wedding, that made me really happy.
Yeah.
So I could enjoy it a lot more because I knew it wasn't going to be the last one.
Right.
It was just going to be another step. So yeah, it's my number 2.
That's great. Good one. We all like that one a lot. Kaycee, what was your number 2?
So my number 2 is Aurora Teagarden, Honeymoon, Honey Murder. Now, I did tease Kami for being the romantic here, but let me tell you, I was all about the fire between Nick and Aurora. I mean,
very much.
I mean, like those two, woo! I was like, wow, we just took it a step beyond Hallmark in some of these kisses.
These are married people kisses.
But I really enjoyed that mystery. I liked Lynn's going off on Aurora because, I mean, to be fair, Lynn has a job to do.
Right.
Aurora has no business meddling,
doing anything.
Murders. She's a librarian. She's a busybody. As much as we love Ro, she really, I mean, like, honestly,
let's be real here.
Let's be real. She doesn't have any business. She can report it, and then she needs to enjoy her pre-honeymoon. But I really just like that dynamic between Lynn and Ro.
Yeah.
And them just finally just like basically duking it out. So that was really fun. And then it was, I don't know, I was really invested in this one. I really loved it. So that is why it's my number 2.
I love it. They just continue to be so good, these Aurora Teagardens, and so it's fun to have 3 that were great.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Kari from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
Number 1. Are we ready? We are finally
ready.
Number 1. My number 1, it may not be a surprise because I did do special podcasts about this after they came out, but mine is Hannah Swenson's Sweet Revenge. This
shocker.
This revival was everything to me. I just thought it was so wonderfully done, for the reasons that we've already talked about, definitely. But it was a good story, they were trying to figure out this at this gym, and this murder, and there were a lot of suspects. And so, Hannah gets locked in this sauna and Mike has to come save her. So there was some real danger there. But at the same time, Dolores has written a romance novel about Hannah Swenson's love life, her own daughter. And I mean, it was just hilarious to me, the places they went. So this is my number 1 for 2021 was the Sweet Revenge. And I so hope that they make more. Please make more. Please make more. Oh. Kami, what about you? What is your number 1 for 2021?
we must be sharing a brain or on the same wavelength or something, Kari, because it was my number one. It was, I mean, I will admit that a lot of it was nostalgia driven, that because I just love the other Murder She Bakes. And so I loved it. I just loved it. And I loved how seamlessly they took those characters back on themselves. Yeah. I loved seeing them be an engaged couple. They weren't a perfect couple, but they were a solid couple. And I mean, I know that we're all about women's empowerment, but I love seeing the woman get rescued and by a big, strong man like Mike Kingston. Yes, please.
It was so good.
It was. And, you know, she fought, she held her own for a while, but sometimes you just need a very handsome detective that you happen to be engaged to come and rescue you sometimes. You know?
It was a really sweet continuation of their story. Like we didn't just go right from engagement to wedding, you know, like kind of like Aurora Teagarden. We got to see them connect as an engaged couple. Who are they at this stage in their life? And Hannah Swenson and Mike Kingston did that in this movie too. I totally agree.
Yeah. I loved it.
Loved it.
I think I have a guess what Kaycee says. Let's see if I'm right. It's
Kaycee,
a mystery I'm going to
solve. My number one is Mystery 101, Deadly History.
I knew it. I solved the case.
All right, give us your theory. Give us your reasoning. Why did you like this controversial movie the best out of all the mysteries?
Here's the thing. I have always loved the Mystery 101 series. It's definitely my number one, my favorite series. It does surpass
one of my favorite wheels.
It surpasses a lot of them. It surpasses Aurora Teagarden. Aurora Teagarden was high on my list for years, and then Mystery 101 showed up, and I was like, "Oh, here for it."
This is
yeah, I love the chemistry between Jill Wagner and Chris Balaha.
It's amazing.
And her dad, the dad Graham, he's a great addition to it. Like you have all of these wonderful characters. But this movie specifically loved Amy and Travis's relationship in the 89 minutes, of course. We got the I love yous, we got the kisses, we got the deep connections, we got that swoony fire scene over there, like lots of great relational development between Amy and Travis.
Did you need an oxygen tank over there, Kaycee?
For this one, probably, but but I really appreciated the fact that through each of the Mystery 101s, their relationship has continued to build. So that was one of them. Peter Benson was another great addition as the brother. That was also unexpected, but they made sense with the age gap. Because at first I was like, wait, hold on a second, what is happening? But then, you know, they explain some of those like things that make you go, what? Also with this, there were several mini mysteries in there. You had like the rich family and like how are they involved, and then you had the actual like the family that owned the estate or whatever it was. You had the crooked police officer chief guy, so you had like all of those things, and you're trying to figure out if they also really piece together, but they kind of really don't, and that was great. And then also did not expect the whole secret love child thing to come out. I mean, but so here's the thing. I thought that, I think her name was Jennifer, who's the assistant, and the son, I thought they were in it together. I thought they were in it together because there was no indication that Jennifer was like, related, a part of the thing. But I thought, because I'm like, oh, it's always the quiet ones, and they'd always show her face, and she's always looking kind of suspicious. Did not see her as the sister that was supposed to get murdered. Whoa. Mind blown. So those reasons.
You're making me want to go back and watch it again.
I mean, that's the thing. It was so good. and for those of you who hated the ending, just end it where Amy and Travis kiss. Like, it'll be
There
your
you
number
go.
one too. But here's my rebuttal for the ending. I feel like because there have been so many directional shifts in Hallmark, they had to make a big something happen to force viewers to push Hallmark to bring it back. So if what Allison Sweeney has said, which is they're going to listen to the fans, they're going to listen to the audience, any publicity, good or bad, is good publicity.
Right.
Bad, like everybody blowing up Twitter saying how much they hated Mystery 101 because of the ending, that is good publicity for Hallmark. That's going to push them to renew it. That's our hopes, at least.
That's our hopes.
That is our hopes.
Keep your fingers crossed.
I think that because it came out so close to a very tumultuous ending, depending on how you look at it, controversial is probably a better word, with When Calls the Heart.
Yeah.
I think that also kind of shoved, like, it just pushed people over the top.
Had a lot to do with it.
There's a lot of backlash with that. And then we have this beloved couple, Amy and Travis, where people are like, oh no, they're broken up. But I mean, here's the thing. The writers of Mystery 101, completely different than When Calls the Heart. They had to, if they were given 7 movies, a contract, like, hey, Hallmark, we're going to sign you on 7 movies for Mystery 101. They did their 7. Hallmark has no obligation to give them an 8th movie, unless the ratings are really good. So they had to write it in such a way to force another set of movies so that people can make a living. So, and they did it with this crazy ending. So
crazy.
I think there's not a single Mystery 101 fan out there that doesn't want another movie now, because they all want to see this resolved.
Exactly.
We know it's going to be good. We know it's going to be a good story. Of course, Travis and Amy are still together. They're doing this for a reason, whether it's undercover work, whether it's witness protection program, whatever it is. We know it's going to be okay. We just want to know how it gets there.
Right. Yeah. And here's the other thing. Here's another way to look at it too. If it ended at that fabulous kiss, and let's say, because we don't know the behind the scenes, let's say Hallmark Movies and Mysteries slated 101 for the 7 movies, ended at that kiss, they'd be like, oh, okay, we're done. Cool.
Yeah.
Done.
People would be fine.
People would be okay with it. But the fact that people are not okay with it is pushing them to make a decision. So retweet.
We hope it does.
Yes.
Yeah, we hope it does. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we all hope it does. Let's go through our top 5. So tell your top 5, and I'll go first. My number 5 for me was Santa Stakeout. Number 4 with Martha's Vineyard Mysteries, Poisoned in Paradise. Number 3, Morning Show Mystery, Murder Ever After. Number 2, Mystery 101 and Deadly History. And number 1, Hannah Swenson Mysteries, Sweet Revenge. Kami?
5, Santa Stakeout. 4, To Catch a Spy. 3, tie of Mystery 101's Killer Timing and Deadly History. 2, Aurora Teagarden Mysteries, Till Death Do Us Part. Number 1, Sweet Revenge, Hannah Swenson Mystery.
And then mine, number 5 is Terminal Descent, Crossword Mysteries. Number 4, Santa Stakeout. Number 3, Martha's Vineyard, Ships in the Night. Number 2, Honeymoon, Honey Murder, Aurora Teagarden. And number 1, Mystery 101, Deadly History.
All right. Well, everybody, that wraps up our top 5 recap of mysteries from 2021. We hope that we hear from you. We want to hear what your top 5 were from last year. And this episode hopefully will come at such a great time as we all gear up for the first mystery offering from Hallmark Movies and Mystery Channel on February 6th, which is Cut Color Murder. Really, really intriguing. I have no idea what even to expect, except I'm excited.
Except, hello, Ryan McFarland.
I was about to say, expect a really handsome face.
Expect a little. Hopefully they have chemistry. Hopefully this is just like a new favorite of ours, a series, hopefully. We also have Aurora Teagarden coming up with Haunted by, what is that one called? Haunted by Murder. Hello.
Haunted by Murder.
Haunted by Murder, and that's coming up.
With their real life daughters.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a fun
Yes.
element to watch for too. Really, really good. Well, oh man, Kaycee, where can people find you on social media as we wrap up?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Kaycee__Simpson.
Kami, what about you?
You can find me at Kami Drama Girl. Kami is spelled Kami on Instagram and Twitter.
And come to Instagram and find me at Hallmark Comics. That's Hallmark_comics. I'd love to interact with you there. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this episode where we celebrated all things mysteries from 2021. We are mystery fans. And if you are a mystery fan, we want to hear from you. Do you want more content on mysteries? We'd love to give it to you. Otherwise, look for our recaps of the movies that debut in February. And we'll be talking to you. Oh, hey, subscribe and leave a thumbs up to the YouTube channel if you're watching there. And leave a rating and review on iTunes if you're watching or listening there. And what else? I mean, we have a website that is chock full of Hallmarkies podcast information. So visit that website. It's in our information here at the bottom of the screen, or the information on the YouTube channel. I guess that's it. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
That's it.
Bye, Hallmarkies.
Bye, all.